Recording?
Yeah.
Eyes double check. Start
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Ibrahim, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation about reshaping school, changing how school works. So the way this topic came up in class was we were discussing how the colonies of British North America, they came together, created Canada, and now the discussion came to this, that how much power should the colonies, the provinces get themselves? There was a federal government, and there were the provincial government. So does the provincial government get more power over what it does in the provinces, or should the federal government, the one that controls the whole country, get more power? So first, I'll be doing the introduction and what are some issues with the existing school system. Then I'm going to discuss the changes to the schedule we can make to fix some of the issues. Then we can make changes to the content, and also what are some extracurricular activities, what are the changes to those, and the after school involvement of the kids, and what's the future of the system. So first, we all go to school every day, but some of us feel that the system is a bit inefficient because, like Brother Fad said a lot of times, it's not a one-fit-all system. It's like lots of people go in the system, but some of them benefit, some of them not so much. So let's look at the changes we can make so all the students are more engaged, and at the same time they're still fulfilling the main purpose of school, learning. So some issues that are like not physical, that are psychological. So lots of students are not able to fit into the school. What happens is, since this system is just generalized for everyone, one person might be good at one thing, the other person might be good at the other thing. But school will mostly cover academics, so if someone has like other talents, like creative expression or artistic talents, they're not going to be able to express those properly in the academic environment. So they're not going to receive that much encouragement, and thus they're going to lack motivation, which might waste some of the talent, or if it's completely unrelated to academics, some talent might even remain undiscovered. So another thing is, most students do understand what school is about. They know what they need to do in school, but they just don't think that school is that interesting. So like that's basically the majority of the people. They're just not engaged, and the school doesn't really help this. The system doesn't help this because it just enforces the people. It just forces them to go ahead, do their homework, go to school, come back, look forward to the weekend so they don't have to do work, that stuff. It doesn't motivate them. Physical issues that we have in this school right now are people have to constantly keep switching between the classes. That wastes a whole lot of time because there's grade 1 through grade 9, and all of them, every single period, they keep switching. That's, you could say an hour, almost an hour, is being wasted on just switching between classes, and that time could be used elsewhere in other periods. Another thing is there's also time required for setting up the gym. This doesn't happen as much, but before, we used to waste a lot of time in the gym too. So before the soccer match happens, lots of time also gets wasted because people are running around in the gym for like God knows how long. After that, let's look at some changes we can make to the schedule to fix some of these issues. So let me just go over the revised schedule. So people come to school in the morning. They do the morning attendance, assembly, that stuff, and then they go to HIFS class. The people who don't have HIFS, so non-HIFS students, they're still going to have Quran first thing in the morning and get it done. After that, people who don't have HIFS, in the second period, they're going to come and do the classes that HIFS students don't do. For example, computer class and like Islamic studies class, they don't do that. The HIFS students don't do that, so the non-HIFS are going to come and do those periods. And then in the third period, you know how some people do science and HIFS, like Hadis and me? So the people who do science, social studies, and HIFS at the same time, third period, they're going to come to class. Now, the main, so basically the main thing is there's only going to be one subject per day to make the system more efficient. For example, here's what I came up with. Monday will be science, Tuesday is going to be math, Wednesday is going to be language, and Thursday are going to be the projects in gym. I'll go over the project thing later. And Friday will be social studies. So the main period is going to start in the third period, where the people who do HIFZ and science, they're going to come and just get this stuff ready. Then every single person in a class is going to come to the classroom and start their period. The period is going to, on normal days without gym, period is going to continue all the way from the beginning all the way till Salah. And we're going to have a small 30-minute break in the middle. And also another thing we can do is if we're just like listening to something, if the teacher is explaining something, students can, if it works, students can eat while the teacher is explaining to save more time. After Salah, which is 2:15 around that time, we'll go to the gym and play the OMA Soccer League games. So in the end, we have lots of time left. And another thing this does is, all the day, the whole day, the students are like very, mentally, they're not tired. But at the end of the day, if we have an important subject at the end of the day, people are going to be very mentally tired. That's not going to let them focus. So after the Salah, at the last period of school, we're just going to do the soccer league games. Since we have an hour, if we do 15 minutes per game, we can do 4 games instead of the usual 2. So changes to the content we can do is content as in I didn't cover the aspect of like the books. That's gonna be for later on, but the way we do the content basically. So in the morning, we're gonna do the questions that require like analytical skills, problem solving. This is because research shows that the human brain is the most productive during the morning. So if we do the exercises, the questions in the book that have more, let's say, objectivity and like that utilize more productivity, we do those. Then research also shows that in the afternoon the brain is the most creative. So instead of having recess and gym and those things, what we could do is use this time to work on the assignments that have more creativity based. So for example, a school project or like a thinking question like we do in English class. Now, extracurricular things. So OMA students will have like a project every month. Like this month we have the animation project. So they're gonna have the project every month that they're tasked with completing. So they'll work at it at home and in school on the assigned project day, which I mentioned is Thursday. So the other extracurricular thing is OMA Soccer League. It's gonna continue as usual, but there's gonna be time for more games, as I covered. So yeah, and now project day. Let me just quickly go over project day. So Thursday will be the project day. So what's gonna happen is on the third period, when everyone comes back, when everyone comes to class, they're just gonna get started on working on the project. So we can get computers if it's like doable. We can get computers in the class for the students to do research or make the projects if it requires that. And they're also this one, the lunch can work with it because they can make the project while eating lunch. Then on Thursday, since the project isn't going to take as much time as the other periods, since we're also going to work on it at home, before Salah, 1 hour before Salah, we can go to the gym and do our gym period on Thursdays. So after school, basically school doesn't just end after school, so alongside the homework and stuff, we're going to have assignments over the weekend to work on, which we already have. Yeah. So OMA Soccer League will also have different teams that promote the league on social media, and different people tasked with doing different tasks. For example, there's gonna be an event organizing team. There's also gonna be the promoting team, like I mentioned, and there are gonna be teams for every single task.
Basically clubs?
You could say that, kind of. Basically assignments for, like he mentioned, assignments for captains to like get points for the system you mentioned next year. So where do I see this system 10 years later? I think the main goal is to expand the system to at least the other Islamic schools in Cambridge. Because as we covered, this system doesn't really fit all of the people. So if we don't like the system, we're not gonna just start complaining. Actually gonna take initiative and fix the system. So I think the first step is expanding it to the next, to the other schools in Cambridge. Jazakallah. Sorry.
Questions?
Questions?
I can go first. Omar first.
Do I stop?
Since you said
Do I stop
you're going to be
recording?
doing one specific subject all day, is that just for the middle of the part? Because you said that Hafiz class, the Hafiz students are going to be doing but all the Quran is going to be in the first period, which is the most proactive period. So when you said the most proactive period timing is like in the morning, or are we just going to use it for the Quran instead of like just using it for the middle part of the day?
Basically, I kind of included the first 3 periods too. So the third period, the period right after Quran, when we start working on the school subject, that's also when we're
So like 9 to 12 pretty much.
so 9 to 12.
Ibrahim, what are the challenges? Very amazing system, awesome. 3 to 4 challenges that are going to come up.
Challenges is like I didn't cover this system in depth, so there's still gonna be like flaws that we have to work out. Especially how much time we actually do get for the subject, since it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much still the same. And this system is not gonna work for like after high school, because they have a lot more subjects and they're not gonna work. It's not gonna work for them because their schedule is completely different. So syncing the high school schedule with the OMA, so basically the high schools might not be able to have the gym, the OMA soccer league, at the right period as the same as the elementary school students.
It's a great attempt. Abdurrahman.
You said there was the problem of people spending at least an hour going to and from classes, but I don't get how it will be fixed in this schedule.
So in this schedule, we only have 1 class a day. So just get all your books and stuff and bring it to the desk.
You're with me all day.
Abdullah.
You said 11:30 or 10:30 for some students. After Salah, they do one subject till Salah, which is 2:15. That's about 3 hours of they'll just be sitting there. And even if you put 3 to 4 hours, even if you put a 30-minute break, that's still 2 hours or 1.5 hours. So are you gonna keep them like engaged for 1.5 hours?
So like, good question. So what we're gonna do is basically project day they're already engaged because they're doing that voluntarily. But for example, mathematics, people are not very engaged in mathematics. So what we can do on that day is taking more breaks, because math there's more homework, less schoolwork. So for example, if you finish that many pages, you can take a break. So the whole class does like, let's say 2 pages. 2 pages, the whole class done, take a break, 5 minutes, just stretch around, play something. Then, basically like that. Do you have a question?
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of ideas, but do you have like any ideas for the project from other schools? Not necessarily like different schools, but any
Types of projects with other schools. We could try like these projects. We could try making a documentary, all the schools together, a team of students from each school, or 1 student from each school creates a team. They try to make like a documentary on Islamic schools in Cambridge as a whole.
Same concept of soccer implemented to other projects. Just that question Abdullah asked, right? It will be a challenge a lot of times for other situations. In our specific situation, we take 45 minutes to get started because we're going deeper in discussion, right? It's happening in social studies class, it's happening in language class. Every single day that our discussion is just getting to the prime, like to the peak of it, and the time is up. So when it gets to the peak, that's where we're going to take a break. I think for this group right here, they can actually present and ask questions and should For any normal situation, it'll be a problem 2 hours too long. But for us, 2 hours would not be a problem because we're going deeper in discussions, right? Ahmad.
When you say like Zuhr Salah was again?
Zuhr Salah ends at 2.
Hazir.
So you said that they grade the subject every day, and I think it's not going to make it like really efficient because you have the next day you have to review everything that you said last week. So why can't it be the teachers switch between the classes instead of the students?
I did not understand that. Or can you repeat that? Sorry.
Like instead of the students going from class to
No,
class,
before that. The part before that.
like if we have a subject every day or a different subject every day, the next time the same subject is going to come, we have to review everything again.
I'm still not following.
I
Are you
think-
saying it's going to be a lot to review the next week?
Yeah, that's
For
what
example, if we start in a social studies chapter, which is a lot of discussion, just one page is a lot of discussion, and in 2 hours we have 3 pages. So when we come back next Tuesday for social studies, it's a whole lot of stuff to review.
Same thing with this system is some subjects we only do them once a week,
Yeah.
or like computer we only do once a week. So for example, I went to computer class. They were doing Python. So isn't it also going to take time if computer classes once a week to review the things you learned last class? So the same thing could be applied there, but this is still not an argument because the fact is still a fact. You're gonna have to review the whole thing. So that's why we have the whole period. So the first period, when people are awake, we can review what we did last week. Just quick recap. Then we can start with the new subject. Yeah.
How will it work in Ramadan?
As I said, I did not. So the people who don't get his question, basically in Ramadan, the school is basically 2 hours short or 1 hour short. So in Ramadan, I did not. I just completely skipped my mind. But improvisation. What I think we can do in Ramadan is no gym because people are already exhausted.
Well, think about it.
I object.
Okay, so now inshallah we'll come back with Haris' presentation.
Stop.
Stop recording.